Hi, I'm Sam Flying Kite. This is The Horror Show. And this week, new franchise, Phantasm. Whatever. This is my all-time favorite horror movie. Favorite movie in general. This is my number one. If I ever made a list, this is number one. When I was 13, there was a theater up in Buffalo, because I lived up near there at the time. And it was playing Phantasm, and Dad took me to go watch it. And it was really nice seeing it on the big screen. It was just a really nice movie, and a lot of things about this movie really connected to me. It was really, it was really relatable, at least to me anyway. But it's like everyone has that one movie that's really special to them. This is that movie for me. And some things about the movie itself. It came out in 1979. It's been an hour, 30 minutes. It's on Tubi. It's rated R. It's directed by Don Coscarelli. The music is by Fred Myrow, Malcolm Seagrave, Michael Baldwin and not like some Michael Baldwin you know of. It's like there's like 2 or 3 Michael Baldwins. This is like the second or third one. Plays Mike. Bill Thornbury plays Jody. Reggie Bannister plays Reggie, and Angus Scrimm plays the tall man. And the gist of the movie is that there's this kid, Mike, and his older brother, and it's just the two of them because their parents died sometime before. Reggie's their friend. Reggie's like the ice cream man. Not that one. But like Mike starts noticing weird stuff, like this old guy that can pick up a casket with a dead body in it. He sees these dwarves. He sees a flying spear. He sees all these weird things, and is like, hey, something weird's going on, and I'm going to investigate further. And ends up dragging his, he ends up dragging his brother into it, but only kind of because kind of has to. Reggie just accidentally finds himself in this situation. And the three of them try to defeat the tall man. Just everything about this movie is just so great to me. And some of the dialogue can be funny and cheesy at times, but I'm fine with that. It's fitting. It's maybe not perfect, but at least when I'm all done today, it's gonna seem like I think it's perfect. And I might as well probably think it is. IMDb has this movie a 6.6 out of 10. Pretty low for me. Let's dig in. Story's a 5 out of 5. I really like the story, and I really like kind of twists and turns the movie goes about. Now, the movie is a nightmare horror kind of movie, where you're not necessarily sure what you're watching is real, or like you're not sure if it's a dream or not. And of course, by the end of the movie, you kind of understand if it was or wasn't. It's really simple, and it's kind of not all over the place, but there's this comedy movie, Napoleon Dynamite, where it's like every 5-10 minutes, it's like you're watching a show that was like, each episode was like 5 or 10 minutes, and they basically edited all the episodes together to make a long movie. This kinda has that, but it's like, it's not really like episodes. It's not like it's something different happening, but there is there is a story, but to a degree, it kind of feels like just different things happening at points, and it's just, it just feels natural. The characters, it's a 5 out of 5 for me. You really feel for them, and they feel very human. Very human. You care about them. You want them to make it to the end of the movie. They're fun. They're, I guess, chill. But they're, you know, they're really cool. They'd be the kind of guys that I would want to be friends with. You know what I mean? That's kind of what it's like. I really like about this. It's just there's a scene in the movie where Jody's on his electric guitar. He's outside. He's just playing something quiet, but you know, whatever. And then Reggie stops by and gets his acoustic, and they both play a song together. And I really love that scene. The song's really good too. But that's just a scene that's like really like, they're really good pals. They're really good friends, and like you really want them all to make it to the end of the movie. I guess the only problem when it comes to characters is that there's the four characters that I brought up. There are other characters, but like they're really small and kind of minute. And if there is any, there's like one or two others that are kind of prevalent, but apart from that, the music is a 5 out of 5 for me. This is one of my favorite soundtracks. This is such one of my favorites that the first ever vinyl, I have a bunch of vinyl, the very first vinyl I ever got was the soundtrack to the movie. And I really like every now and again just putting that on and listening to it on the player right there. You can kind of see it. There's the towel that's on it. It's just really good stuff. Really good creepy stuff, I think. The setting's a 5 out of 5 for me. Now, I can't really tell where necessarily. It's either somewhere up north like Michigan, or it's in Southern California. Now, they shot the movie in California, so it might just be that. Maybe it does take place in California. But the thing I really like about the setting is it reminds me a lot of the place I used to live when I lived up in New York, where there's the town. It's kind of old. Well, it is an old town, but it's old in the sense of there's still brick roads and just a lot of old houses and such. And then when you get outside the town, it's really rural, and a lot of quiet, long roads and highways and such. And that kind of feels like what this place is. The Morningside, that town. That's what it kind of feels like. And it's just like, it really feels like I'm watching like, when I get to the atmosphere, it ultimately just feels like everything about this movie is just pointing at me saying, hey, do something, right? This is your inspiration. In which, to a degree, it kind of has been, because I've always, I want to be a movie director one day, and I get there's stuff I gotta do right now, and I am. I'm reading, I'm watching, obviously, I'm listening, and I'm trying to create. But if there was like one thing I was able to go and do, it would be Phantasm, or it would be a love letter to Phantasm, because that's like one thing that I think would just be really, really, really cool to do. And there's just a lot of things about this movie. Like, you could go a little deeper on, like, certain aspects, and which I might, because, you know, these are supposed to be kind of long anyway, that I just really like. And, you know, it gets some of the cliches or older horror movies, but nonetheless. The atmosphere is a 5 out of 5 for me. All of it fits together. The creepiness, all the crazy shots, and all of it mixed together. It's just perfect when it comes to a good old scary movie. And especially like watching like one of the older versions of the movie, and the grainy, seeing all the grain on the screen and such. And even watching the remaster, maybe because the remaster makes like the silver spheres look a little better. But it's like, dude, just like the tagline of this movie, if this one doesn't scare you, you're already dead. So like, what does that tell me? That tells me this is a really good horror movie. And then you watch it and you're like, dang, this is a really good horror movie, unless you're a bum or you're not really feeling it, which I could totally see because it's an hour 30. Now, to be fair and honest, there's a lot of horror movies that are shorter. I could kind of see why this movie would feel a little long, because some things are kind of dragged out, kind of go in circles a little bit. But I still really like this movie, and I still really think this is just a really, really good horror movie. I obviously have it as a 5 out of 5. Perfect star movie. It's like 5 stars. There's just a lot. This movie is just really special, and I'm happy that I'm doing this now. Although I think sometime now, I've already said this about a few other movie reviewing ideas, like a deep dive kind of thing. I need to be a little more kind of perfect timing. I don't know when I'd ever really do one, but this would be a movie I would totally do, like a 30-minute review, talking about so much, everything, basically. I love the ending to this movie, and I don't know if I want to really say what the ending is, although I suppose I could. Please, if you have not seen this movie, please go watch it. It's on Tubi, so maybe it's going to be a little extra longer, but it's really worth it. And I would really like to not spoil this movie for you, but if you really want to know that badly, then I suppose so be it. So, near the end of the movie, when they defeat the tall man, Mike wakes up, and what is the presumed reality that is so is that Mike is with Reggie because his older brother died in a car accident. And so, throughout this whole movie, there's this whole kind of aspect of Mike not wanting to leave his brother, Mike always wanting to be with his brother. And it's kind of like he wakes up, and it's like the whole reason why he wanted to be with him during the dream was because he's not there anymore in real life. In which case, it's kind of sad, but I think it's really good. Well, not really good. It's really good stuff. Really good work. And then Mike and Reggie, Mike's like, the tall man's gonna get me too. He got my parents. He got my brother, now he's after me. And then Reggie's like, it's just a dream, blah 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 blah. I think we need to just go somewhere else. We need to move. We need to go somewhere else. Let's hit the road tomorrow morning, kind of thing. Then Mike's like, all right, let's go. He goes upstairs. He starts getting his stuff, and then boom, the tall man is in his room and says, boy. And then dwarves get him through his mirror in his room, and then that's the end of the movie. That's a really good ending. Now, I guess I'm just a sucker for plot twist endings, because sometimes those are just the greatest stuff. Don Coscarelli, in each Phantasm movie, except for the 5th one. Now, to be fair, he didn't direct the 5th one, he just helped produce it. But each of the ones that he's directed had a plot twist ending, which I'm fine with. I'm totally fine with that. Because you would kind of think that for Phantasm movies, and it's gonna feel bland, but each time it feels different. It feels pretty good. Like, whoa, I wonder what's gonna happen next. Now maybe the 3rd one you could say, it's like, oh, okay, whatever, because that happened before. But still. The 1st one's really good, the 2nd one's really good, the 4th one's really good, and the 5th one kind of just has a ending. It doesn't really have a plot twist ending. Which I'll get to that when I get to that. But I guess something small I want to talk about real quick before I end this review is that there's a stereotype I really like in older horror movies that you don't really see nowadays. Maybe you do in some, like Hard Eyes or whatnot. But it's the idea that if you go and fool around, late at night with some stranger kind of thing, or just maybe you just fool around with like a boy or a girlfriend, that something bad's gonna happen, you're probably gonna die. And it's like one of the cardinal sins of a horror movie is like, if you're gonna go and fool around, you're gonna die. And it's like, it really sucks. But how Phantasm went about it, that kind of cliche, I think is really, whoa, because that is quite literally, I guess it's like this. Nowadays, you kind of have people just going about and just being careless with who they go and fool around with, and there's no real. They throw caution to the wind and say, "I'm just here for a good time." In this movie, you go and do that, you will die that night, and I guess it's just like a whole at least in my point of view, like, you're kind of writing away your life if you go and just do that, because you have no clue what's going to happen in the morning. You have no clue what's going to happen a week, 2, a month from then, a year. Like, your life could be ruined because of that one night, whether it's because if, say, the lady gets pregnant, or if she accuses you of, SA. A lot of horror stories out there, and guys aren't really that careful. A lot of guys, and women too, are very careless. And I really like Phantasm because it goes and says, hey, you really shouldn't be that careless. It's just something to think about. So if you haven't seen the movie, I say you really should watch it, and I hope you like it, because I love it. And if you don't like it, or if you don't love it, if you actually hate it, then I would have to be fine with that, because free speech, and you have the choice to. I'm not gonna force you to love something or hate something, But anyway, if you like the movie, if you hate the movie, comment down below. Let's have a conversation a little, maybe, and like the video if you like this kind of content and such. And those things really do help out when it comes to building a community, or building this, making this something much bigger than it probably ever could be. It's I'm out here just telling y'all my thoughts and the information that I have in my head, and I really like doing this stuff. So yeah, I'm Sam, Flying Kite. I did Phantasm. Next week will be Phantasm 2, and if this one doesn't scare you, you're already dead. A lot of people nowadays are already dead, so this may not scare you that much. I'll see y'all next week for sure. Goodbye.